Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adult. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Art feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, September the 21st, one of the last days of summer. Well, we got September 21st, 22nd, and fall comes in on the 23rd. And we have Paul Baum with us today. Walk Back in Time. Yes. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
And Walk Back in Time will be the first weekend in fall, which is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Certainly
right?
Is.
What is Walk Back in Time?
Well, it got started actually at the turn of the century, 15 years ago.
Okay.
And
that was the turn of the century. That sounds like hundreds of years ago.
No, not that turn. This turn of the century.
Yeah.
And I had admired that enormous mansion there in Mexico, Missouri. And I've driven by it. I thought, what in the world is that? Well, by now I know clearly what it is. And they had some minor little events there. And I thought one time, this is really a great place for a living history event. By then, turn of the century, I was doing living history as a hobby. So I suggested that we do a living history of some kind. And then, to my astonishment, they said yes. Then I had to give them the bad news.
When you say they, who are you referring to?
The people at the museum,
okay.
the authorities in the Historical Society.
In Mexico?
In Mexico, right, Audrain County Historical Society. So then I had to give them the bad news that we have reenactors coming in for this big weekend, which turned out to be 2002, and we got the thing off the ground. And they came in with big vehicles, dug fire pits, and I told them about it, and they said, okay. Another moment of astonishment, and we had 4,000 people. We got 4,000 people. We had 4 historical periods that we lined up in a kind of a walk back in time.
You had 4,000 people who were doing walk back in time?
4,000 visitors.
Visitors, okay.
We attracted that many. And we were absolutely astounded. We had 4 historical periods, and we lined them up in a kind of a chronology as an afterthought. So that, if a visitor follows this line, that visitor would be taking a walk back in time. So that explains it.
Yeah.
And since then, it has tripled.
Really?
It has been.
So you've got something like 12,000 people that show up.
We'll at least match the population of the town of Mexico, Missouri, which is about 11,000.
So this year, Walk Back in Time is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. What can people look forward to this weekend?
Okay. This weekend, let's start with Friday. It'll be a very popular fish fry, and that fish is really good. In the evening, starts about 5, and then we will have a vignette.
Where will the fish fry be?
Well, what? I'm sorry.
Where will it be?
Well, it'll be on the grounds there.
Okay.
Everything is on the grounds there, immediately on the west side of the mansion there. It's a tent area.
So if you
nice
know
area.
where to go, Mexico for the fish fry, it'll be on the grounds of the Historical Society.
Then at that time, free of charge, we have a little vignette on the Battle of New Orleans. And Andrew Jackson, of course, will be there with all of his rugged shooters who will put together a nice greeting for the British there. And there's no charge for that. And
so after the fish fry, there'll be a reenactment of the Battle of New Orleans.
Well, not quite a reenactment, because this is going to be in the house. And it's like the scenario is like the night before the battle.
Okay.
And the tension and all the shooters who were coming in from New Orleans and from Kentucky and all these different places.
Yeah.
And they're discussing with anger and trepidation what's going to happen, fear of this massive red army, red uniforms.
Exactly. So that'll be Friday night. Then Saturday and Sunday, what?
Yes. Okay. Saturday and Sunday. Let's focus on the battle reenactments. They will start at about 2 on both days. We will have medieval swordsmen on that battlefield. They're not real swords, but they make a lot of noise when they crash together. World War II skirmish, and then will be the Battle of New Orleans, mostly put on by the Missouri Military Academy cadets. Now, they're going to be the British.
Okay.
in red uniforms. The British, and then they will be up against a line of about 30 or 40 shooters who are just making noise, but it's going to look really realistic.
So how many people altogether are taking part in this reenactment?
We will have 40 to 50 behind the mud ramparts, and the other side about that many, so maybe 100 or a few more.
So
Now,
100 to 120 people. How do you organize 100 to 120 people, getting them to agree upon what they're going to do when they're going to do it?
Well, for one thing, they're cadets. They're organized and they're well disciplined. I was a cadet there. I know what it's like to be a Missouri Military Academy cadet. I know that they're very organized. It's just part of the lifestyle of being a cadet. So that takes care of part of that. They will be obedient. They will portray what they're supposed to portray very well.
What about the other side?
Then the other side, all they have to do is line up at the straw bales there, which will simulate the rampart. There were mud ramparts there, and they will have flintlock rifles, and they'll shoot up in the air, and everything is very safe. Make a lot of noise, a lot of smoke, and it'll simulate the battle.
Yeah.
And
so
the British
everybody's invited to come out. You feel that you'll have about 10 to 12,000 people?
Well, not
observing.
at one time. that's spread out over
a 3-day period.
3 days,
over a 3-day period,
including the school kids.
If somebody can only come to one event, what would you recommend?
I would recommend coming. It's hard to say, but say come about noon. And then it will go on from there, because right away, 2 o'clock, we'll start the 3-part battle reenactment. So they're pretty dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Are you taking part in any of this?
Well, I'm going to portray Jean Lafitte, who was a French pirate. And of course, I fought on the American side, and he fought on that, and I will be on the American side.
Okay, you're going to portray Jean Lafitte. You've got many different characters that you have portrayed.
Yes, I'm
over
usually
history.
Blackjack Pershing. And there's a big difference between Blackjack Pershing and Jean Lafitte.
Yeah. Who's your favorite? Of all the characters that you have portrayed over the years, I know you've done many, who's your favorite?
Blackjack Pershing, by far. He was from Missouri. And what a history that he had. Just amazing.
Okay.
I find that pretty exciting.
So mark it on your calendar. It is Walk Back in Time. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Mexico, Missouri.
It is.
Anything else you want to add? We got about a minute left here.
Okay, 1 minute. I definitely do want to mention the Missouri Military Academy cadets and the fact that Bill Hobbs, we lost him this last year. He was one of our dearest reenactors. He portrayed Douglas MacArthur so well, and he was so well liked and admired that on the flag-raising ceremony at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, his widow will be there, Mary Hobbs, and that's going to be a very, very sentimental moment for all of us.
A special tribute to him.
Yes.
Okay.
For all of us.
All right, Paul, thank you so much for coming by, and best of luck this weekend with Walk Back in Time in Mexico, Missouri.
Yes, it is.
Starting Friday, and you got the fish fry to kick things off.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, and then the Battle of New Orleans. We're out of time for today. Tomorrow, Church Basement Ladies with Maples Rep Theater. Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director, Kevin Casson, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. If you'd like to listen to this or watch this program again, kbia.org. See you. Bye.